There we go. All right. I got my Bad Apple hat on from the Bad Apple Boys down in Kensington. And I'm going to flip over here now after I tell you, how to handle, online trolls. Okay. And some of them are disguised as experts. And they like to, lord it over the lowly people that they think don't know anything. Or they're sitting there poking at people, trying to get them to react because they're so kind of upset that they don't know the answer and they can't understand things that you're saying. So I'll show you what I'm talking about because I've been waiting for a reply for 2 hours now. Okay, so let's go to Facebook. I like groups and everything, but what happened was someone posted this cool picture and it was this or that. See, it's would you eat a Big Mac or the banana bread? And it was people were at least the burger would have some protein and technically some veggies, then whatever. And then I posted up, not a reply. All I put up was banana bread equals loosely packed electrons. Very inefficient source for the mitochondria, also high glycemic load. And if you don't know what glycemic load is, you don't even know the nutrition side of it, let alone the mitochondrial freaking efficiency side. Burger has fat, cell membrane material plus dense electrons from iron, blah, blah, blah. So then this guy, who PT just means he's a personal trainer, is what studies show that it's about the electron density? So I made a very nice reply, maybe none in the nutrition realm, but as one delves further into, because I've never looked it up according to nutrition, I just know that it's true because I've been hacking on it for 5 years and studying all about it. And I also have a science background, kinesiology and health science, the folding and unfolding of proteins, and we learned in lecture theater all about the fucking mitochondria. What they knew then, 30 years ago, right? Or whatever. And then, of course, his only reply is, so no evidence then. So then I asked him a question. I didn't say anything. I said, what is the final receptor of the ETC, which is, of course, the electron transport chain? And there's been no reply. Though it did take him 8 hours to go back to the first one. Right? And then I said, this took 1 minute of search time just using Google. Right? Life Sciences Care blog, eat foods high in electrons. Okay? And then I put up my credentials so he can go and check me out. And if I get a snarky reply or some other thing, I'm going to put up the original video that I made, which is me chewing his ass out. But I don't do that stuff because I thought about it. I'm you know what? Maybe I'm misinterpreting, but I don't think I am. So we'll check this out too because this is a nice lifesciences.care. Okay, so .care is a custom domain, so they had to pay for that, just like I paid for mine. It's a fusion.coach, right? Posted by Horton Tatarian, research biochemist, on the 4th of May 2015. So one day before my birthday, on the year that I decided to go into recovery, which really, it taught me a few things. And one thing it taught me is that isolation is one of the most unhealthy things that a human can do. And by the way, they've been telling us to isolate for over a year now. The health and quality of life depend on the degree you meet your requirements for life and protect yourself from injury. First, let's acknowledge that the sun is your body's original energy source. And I just talked yesterday to a lady about this. I was like, if you don't realize that the sun is what powers everything, well then turn it out and then see how long the planet lasts, which would be 0. Even the planet would die. Okay. Plants use solar energy directly, producing nutrients of the type most important to us. As first-hand energy sources, plants provide nutrients that are rich in electrons. An ample supply of electrons enables your body to protect itself against oxidative damage, chemical injury due to a lack of electrons. So what are you going to do? Eat a fluffy piece of bread that has basically a bunch of air in it and no electrons? Or are you going to eat a big fat steak or a big fat fish or some eggs for those of you, or you could even eat a pile of shrimp, or you could swill down a cup of krill if you're all anxious about hurting a living being. The cycle of life is just that, the cycle of life. When we die as humans, if we're not dumb we will let ourselves be buried, and then the worms eat everything, and then our bones supply the ground with nitrogen so that plants can grow again. You can even convert acidic seeds, including grains, into young alkaline vegetables rich in electrons by sprouting them. And in their sprouted state, by the way, folks, way better. In moderation, raw nuts and seeds, not roasted or toasted, are nutritious additions to your meals. Raw nut and seed butters are good too. Coconut milk, shredded coconut. See, everything that he's listing is either an oil or something is dense. It's heavy. Like, pick up a coconut. It's heavy. Piece of bread, it's like a piece of air. It's got nothing in it. As secondhand food sources, animal products are acidic, electron absorbing. However, organic eggs are healthful additions to plant-based diet. Wild-caught fish, not farmed, may also be healthful additions to a plant-based diet, but only when low in mercury. Avoid fish high in mercury, shark, tilefish, from the swordfish. I love swordfish. Herbicide. Yeah, if we got herbicide. Now, I'm going to have to go out here and say that I do believe that I'm going to go and say that animal products like animal products are acidic. Who cares if they're acidic? And no, they're not electron absorbing. They are a big pile of dense electrons. So I'm going to go out there and disagree with that even. Because what I'm getting at is, he's a biochemist, see? So in his biochemistry lab, you might see that it absorbed, like, you know, but that could be like a shitty piece of beef that was grown on in like a disgusting environment and it's really actually sick, right? But if you have a nice piece of grass-fed beef or something that's like, the animal was like healthfully and happily raised in a nice farm in like South Central Ontario with like maybe 50 of his buddies, that's different, right? And I'm not into acidic or alkaline foods because your body actually adjusts itself with your respiration for acidity mostly. And it doesn't matter, you could eat battery acid and all it's going to do is burn your mouth, but it isn't going to fuck up anything else because you'd only do it for about 5 seconds. You wouldn't do it again. Oh, let's go back to... So there you go. So maybe I'll just post this one up, right? And then it'd be really embarrassing because then you'll know that I put it onto his... But I don't do that, folks. That's why I withhold getting into arguments with people online. Because a lot of people are out there spouting off stuff and they have no idea what they're talking about. So I had already come up with that theory, talked to a billion people about it, like just told them about it. And then I look it up, and of course, I'm right. Because some of us can put stuff together without having to look stuff up because we've already looked up so much stuff, right? Anyway, enough of that. And I'll just go back there. Little group. Like most of the people in here are, yeah, look there, releasing fat for fuel. And did you know that everything you eat is first stored as fat and then released as fuel? Unless you're in the oxidative glycolytic range and drinking a 5 millimolar solution of pure glucose in like distilled water. Oh man, the stuff that I learned and wrote about when I was in university. Of course, the freaking professors hated it when they saw me coming. There's that big huge dude's gonna come and ask us stuff we don't know. And with that, I want to check out what it looks like on the phone. Oh look, health scientist, outdoor worker, mitochondria run your life. They like it outside. That's right. That's why I work outside, or I just don't work. Well, Ladine, that's one of the best nutrition dudes on the planet right there. Then we go like this, and we go like this, and we find that. We go, stop.